When someone gives you importance and suddenly starts ignoring you, it leaves a peculiar and unsettling mark on your mind and heart. At first, you feel seen, valued, and acknowledged. Their attention, whether in the form of messages, calls, or even subtle gestures, becomes a quiet comfort, a gentle affirmation that you matter. You begin to carve space for them in your thoughts, imagining their presence in your life as something steady, perhaps even permanent. There is joy in that acknowledgement, an almost childlike excitement at being recognized and appreciated. You start to trust their attention as a mirror reflecting your own worth. And then, without any warning, the mirror shatters. The attention disappears. The calls stop, the messages fade, and their presence, which once felt like a warm sunrise, now seems distant, like a winter sky after a storm. You are left with confusion and a gnawing sense of inadequacy. Why did they give you importance and then withdraw it? Was it something you did, something you said, or were they never really invested in the first place? The sudden shift forces you to confront questions that have no easy answers. In many cases, this behavior doesn't always reflect your worth. Human attention is fickle, shaped by moods, circumstances, and internal conflicts that often have little to do with you. People enter our lives for various reasons, some to genuinely connect, others to seek validation, and yet others simply to pass time. When someone pulls away, it may indicate their own emotional turbulence rather than a reflection of your value. They might be struggling with personal issues, fear of intimacy, or unresolved past experiences. Their ignoring you is more about them than it is about you. However, the impact on your emotional state is real and undeniable. You feel the loss of importance as a weight pressing on your chest. It triggers self-reflection, self-doubt, and sometimes even guilt. Your mind replays every interaction, searching for hidden clues or mistakes, trying desperately to understand a behavior that may have no logical explanation. In the silence they leave behind, your own voice becomes loud, questioning every part of the relationship you thought existed. This pattern, receiving attention and then being ignored, is not uncommon in human relationships. It can be subtle, like someone who once texted you daily but now responds after hours or days, or dramatic, like someone who vanished entirely. Psychologists often link this behavior to inconsistency in attachment or emotional availability. Some individuals are drawn to the thrill of closeness but fear the depth of real connection. They crave attention yet withdraw when intimacy becomes real or challenging. For the person being ignored, this inconsistency creates a psychological tension, a desire to hold on mixed with a painful reality of being undervalued. Despite the pain, there is a lesson embedded in this experience. When someone who once valued you begins to ignore you, it forces a confrontation with your own self-worth. You are given an opportunity to distinguish between external validation and internal validation. External validation, the attention of others, is fleeting and unreliable. It can lift your spirits or shatter them, depending on someone else's choices. Internal validation, however, is a steady flame that comes from knowing and honoring your own value, independent of others' attention. This is the seed of resilience. Another truth to recognize is the power of detachment. Detachment does not mean ignoring your feelings or becoming cold. It means releasing the need to control someone else's behavior. When someone withdraws, you cannot force their presence without compromising your own peace. By stepping back, by creating space for yourself, you reclaim the emotional energy that was tied up in chasing their attention. You begin to focus on relationships that are reciprocal, nurturing, and consistent. In reflecting on why someone might suddenly start ignoring you, it is also important to examine patterns. Is this a person who frequently comes and goes? Do they only seek connection when convenient, or when it serves their own emotional needs? Recognizing such patterns can prevent prolonged emotional confusion. The goal is not to cultivate cynicism, but awareness. Awareness allows you to make choices that protect your heart while remaining open to meaningful connections. There is a paradox here. The very pain of being ignored can catalyze growth. It teaches patience, discernment, and empathy. You learn to navigate disappointment with grace and to resist the urge to define yourself through someone else's attention. The absence of their focus becomes a mirror reflecting your own capacity for self-love. Over time, this process transforms pain into wisdom. You begin to see that attention, though desirable, is not essential for your completeness. Your worth is not determined by who notices you or who disappears, but by the integrity, kindness, and love you cultivate within yourself. Yet, the human heart is tender, and emotions cannot be commanded. Even when you intellectually understand that being ignored is not your failure, the initial sting feels raw. You grieve the imagined possibilities, the friendship, the conversations, the laughter that now seem lost. It's a quiet mourning, subtle yet profound. Acknowledging this grief without judgment is crucial. It is a natural response, a reminder of your capacity to care deeply. Healing from such experiences involves a blend of reflection, self-compassion, and purposeful action. Reflection allows you to understand the dynamics without harsh self-blame. Self-compassion reminds you that being ignored does not diminish your value. Purposeful action, redirecting your energy toward nurturing relationships, pursuing passions, and creating meaningful experiences, restores a sense of agency. You begin to fill the spaces once occupied by uncertainty with growth, creativity, and authentic connection. Sometimes the person who ignores you will return, and other times they will not. Either way, the emotional journey is an invaluable teacher. It teaches the distinction between love and attachment, attention and validation, presence and absence. It reveals the fragility and beauty of human connections. And most importantly, it shows that your capacity to endure, reflect, and grow is far stronger than the temporary withdrawal of someone else's attention. In the end, being ignored after once being valued is a bittersweet lesson in impermanence of external affirmation. It encourages introspection, builds emotional resilience, and nurtures a deeper understanding of self-worth. While the initial pain is undeniable, it is also a call to prioritize relationships that are steady, reciprocal, and nourishing. Life, in its unpredictable rhythms, teaches us that while we cannot control others, we can always choose how we respond. By cultivating self-respect, emotional independence, and mindful awareness, we transform moments of neglect into stepping stones toward inner strength and clarity. So, when someone who once gave you importance begins to ignore you, it is not merely an act of abandonment. It is a mirror reflecting the transient nature of external validation and a quiet invitation to rediscover your own unwavering value. And in that discovery, you find not just healing, but a profound sense of freedom. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective.